this opportunity to tell your story, be honest and vulnerable, and do what you need to do. But I think, let's just start with, where were you born? Where are you from?
I was born in Akron, Ohio, raised in Greenville, North Carolina. I moved to Spokane when I was 15, and I'm 57 now, and I've been out here about 3 years.
So growing up, you grew up with mom and dad, have siblings?
No, I was the only child. My dad was national president for the Ghost Riders. It's an outlaw biker group. They were killed 12 years ago, and I've been out on the streets for 12 years.
So when you moved from there to Spokane, what was that transition like?
It was actually a lot nicer. The people out here were a lot nicer than what they are on the East Coast, and I liked it. I was up on top of Beacon Hill out there. It's kind of funny because you got a Beacon Hill over here, but it was Beacon Hill, and it was raised up around 22 acres. Had a 5-bedroom house. It was just me and my mom and dad, and we had a couple of dogs and stuff. It was nice.
What was your home life like?
It was excellent. My dad taught me everything. He let me go. I did 23 years in the Air Force. I was a lieutenant. Retired in 2001. Yeah, after 9/11.
So when you said you guys moved to Spokane, both your folks?
Yep.
And then from Spokane?
I came out here by myself. My mom and dad were brutally raped and murdered in front of me for 3 days in Spokane. My dad was trying to stop this sex trafficking trade, and he was getting close. And they sent somebody in to hit him. And they duct taped me to a chair, and I waited 3 days, and then 3 days after that, they took me to get out of the chair. And that was August 19, 2010.
Yeah, the same girl that tied up all of
So-
those cops. The second I closed my eyes, she ran.
That's it's a big deal.
Yeah.
How do you cope with that?
It took me a while to cope, but my dad always told me to respect women and children, and I protect the women and children out here. I see stuff going on, I stop it. I'm notorious for it. People know it. I'm not afraid to say it. Police know it. Everybody knows it. And the only reason why I'm in the wheelchair right now is the 16th of this month. They're taking 3 toes on this one and 1 on this one from frostbite.
That's the cold box.
Yeah.
So you've been out here for 12 years.
Been out here 12 years.
What was that transition like from you had a house at home, I
Right.
assume?
Right.
What happened?
Well, after they were brutally raped and murdered in front of me, I couldn't be in a house by myself because I relived it. And I didn't have any family. I was the only child. So I came out here, and the homeless people out here are like my family. I get along with them. It's just like any other family, but we're out here on the street. We look out after each other.
And so after 12 years, I mean, you seem pretty straight, pretty sober, for the lack of a better term.
Well, I mean, I do meth, but you don't know it because I don't let the drug do me. I do the drug. I keep it for pain and keep my head straight. Other than that, I don't abuse it. The cops know I do it, and you never can tell. I don't change. I stay the way I am.
Tell me more about that. You keep it for pain. What type of pain?
For the phantom pain, or for the pains I got here, I mean, it's excruciating. I can't even walk. It hurts. And it takes the pain off. I'd rather be doing that than be addicted to an opiate. Especially Dilaudid or oxycodone or something like that. I don't want to be addicted to that. Too many people I've seen go through that. I don't want to do it. Meth's easy to get off of.
So because of you're living in a tent?
Yeah.
So it's been really cold. How long ago did the frostbite come?
Frostbite happened December 18th. I was out in Lake City. I was out at the library out there, and I sat down on the bench next to the library. And when I did, I fell asleep, and it rained that day. And that night it got 18 degrees, and I just froze in my boots and froze it to the bench. It took 45 minutes to get me off the bench.
So you call somebody? Did someone come?
Somebody called the fire department, had them come out. And it took them 45 minutes to get off, and then they took me to my boots over here to Swedish Ballard, and it took them 2 hours to boil hot water to get my feet out of the boots. Yeah.
So So literally frozen in your boot.
Yeah, it was really frozen.
So what happens when you lose your toes and you're going in the hospital?
Right. They're going to do outpatient surgery. So I'm going to go in and lose my big toes on both feet and the one next to it and the one next to that one on the left foot. So I'm going to have learn how to walk again.
And then what happens after that?
Hopefully they don't go any further.
But I mean, you're going to be in the hospital and then just come back.
Yeah, well, no, they're trying to get me in the Maricopa House, which is out 130th Aurora. So I'll be in there before I go to surgery.
So if I go there and anything changes, because I said
That's
I
the first time in 12 years that I
have not
was offered
been
housing.
reported this whole damn time.
Tell me about, you were just talking a little bit earlier about the violence.
Well, they had an article come out and 22% increase in crimes against the homeless. It's not the homeless doing it with the homeless. It's somebody that's got a vindictive thing against the homeless that's doing it. It's like you got somebody out here right now in the U district and around here in Ballard that's driving a older Chevy trucks, gold, extended cab that's shooting people with 22. And you got people burning tents down.
What do you think that's about? Tell me more about that.
It's somebody that's got a home. It's somebody homeless, did something to them, and they're just out trying to feel like they're, how do you say it? They cope with what happened to them by hurting other people. Like the homeless, they feel righteous in doing it.
Entitled.
Yep.
Yeah. And what's the response like with the homeless community?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. The homeless find out about it and find out who it is. It's like me. I won't call the cops. I'll go handle it myself, and then we'll deal with it later. But the cops, I don't involve them in it. The cops got too much other stuff to do, and if I do something and my name comes across the thing, they say, "What'd you do to piss off Blue?" Is what I tell them.
I'm curious, have you ever been married?
Yeah, I was married. I had 9 months. I had a wife and I had a 6-month-old daughter, and they got killed in a car accident in '95.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I'm active in the Ghost Riders. I haven't taken over national presidents, which is my seat. I got to be married to do it. I'm just waiting to get married to do it. But I've got a lot of pull with it. And I do have concealed weapons permit.
You seem pretty, I guess, equipped for
Yeah.
the streets.
Yeah. The thing is I'm taught in the military, if I pull it, I'm pulling the trigger. And I'm not going to miss. That's where you're taught.
So you said 25 years in the Air Force.
23.
23 years in the Air Force.
Last 3 months, I flew Air Force One for Barack Obama after 9/11. I did 423 missions, didn't lose a helicopter, didn't lose a plane, and didn't lose a man in 423 missions. So I had an impeccable record. I stopped taking promotions after lieutenant. I didn't want to quit what I was doing.
So have you had the opportunity to have housing?
No, this is the first time I've had an opportunity for housing. I know a lot of the coordinators out there. They put me on the list, and I backed out of it when somebody else needed it more than I did. So I let them take it. So now it's my turn, and they're putting me in. They jumped me to the top of the list. Yeah, and because they know what I do out here. I mean, if it wasn't for me, people wouldn't be able to sleep out here by the library at night because I pick it up, and I keep everything calm, cool, and collected. Everybody knows it. The police know it. Security knows it. So that's one thing that they're glad of, you know. And I don't mind doing it. I mean, the kids come over here. So, I mean, the kids have to have a clean place to go and some place that they don't see the drugs. I don't want people to do drugs in front of kids or families because the kids shouldn't be subjected to that. And they shouldn't leave their needles lay around because a kid could pick them up or an animal could pick it up. I don't like that.
I appreciate it. I got 2 daughters in our library.
I know, bro. Listen, bud, I mean, whenever something like that goes on, you don't have to worry about it. Somebody disrespects your kids, I'm getting in it. And all the men know it.
If you were to what would you want the people of Seattle to know?
I don't want the city of Seattle to know, the people of Seattle, that the homeless out here aren't as bad as everybody's projecting them. You got some of them that are bad apples. They can't clean up their messes. Yes, they do drugs. So yes, they do a lot of drugs. The reason why is because they're trying to cope with something, and they can't cope, and that's their coping mechanism. They're human, just like you. 2 paychecks away. Anybody that's in the homeless is 2 paychecks away from being where I'm at, and they have to realize that. And if you see something and you can help somebody, help them. They're going to meet gratitude, and they're not going to turn their back on you. They're not going to do something. And if you see something and somebody's doing something wrong, come to somebody else. Come to an older homeless person and tell them. We'll handle it. Or find me out here. I'm out here in Ballard. Just ask for Blue. They'll find me, and anybody come up here and tell me what's going on, and I'll handle it. I'll make sure nobody gets hit. Somebody turns around and rips them off, I'll make sure they get it back with interest. I mean, I don't pay that.
Right on. Any last thoughts, closing thoughts or anything?
Yeah, don't let the news rule you on what's going on, because they're saying what they want to say, so they're trying to make a big deal out of something that's not as big as what it is. And if you can help a homeless person, help them. You'll get it. I mean, if you want to donate stuff, find me, give it to me. I'll donate it to the people that need it.
When you say, if you want to help, what does that look like?
Food, clothing, shelter. If you want to give up money, give me the money, and whatever the people need, I'll go buy it and give it to them. You want to get gift cards, bring the gift cards out, I'll take it and go get what these people need and make sure they get fed. We're trying down here on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, since nobody comes out, to having a cookout to where people can sit out here, the homeless can go out here and get a meal over here at the Ballard Park. So they can cook it and stuff, so that way they got a meal, at least on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because Monday through Friday, the St. Luke's over here gives a hot breakfast from 8 to 10.
Tell me more of what's happening at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's are getting ready to tear it down and put up an 8-story professional and apartment building. So they're going to go 30 feet from, 58th, 30 feet down from the street. They're going to tear it all down.
What has St. Luke's been to the community?
St. Luke's has been a big help. I think people ought to know, they ought to look at that building, the original building up there. I bet you it's historical, because it's got the old style stained glass in it with lead. So it's been built, 1940, 1950, about then. So people turn around and want to keep that building. You ought to, because this town was built by fishermen. And old historic buildings should be kept up and made historical monuments.
What do you think the reason is they're tearing it down?
For one, they're tearing it down because of the housing and stuff for low income. But look at how many housings you got going up now. Ballard's getting tore down all the time. They're doing so much construction around Ballard, Queen Anne, every place else. You guys aren't even going to recognize your town by the time they get done. And cleaning supplies, you drop off cleaning supplies, I'll make sure the stuff's used properly and people don't abuse it. That's the main thing. You got a lot of women out here that needs clothes because they get ripped off all the time. Guys, they need clothes. Some of them need dental, some of them need medical. But, I mean, we can always get that done if they need it. And if you got dogs you want to donate, there's a bunch of people out here who need dogs for companions and stuff. Yep. And for protection. I mean, I'll hand a woman a weapon in a minute and tell them to do what they got to do. Protect yourself. And you got to remember, it's you or them. So the one that's attacking you, you got to think that they're going to take your life. So you got to protect yourself.
Are you feeling like you're living in fear from?
Me living in fear? No, I don't fear anything. I don't fear these people, because I know one thing. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just out here doing what any normal person should do, and what they were raised to do. And more people do that and stand up for these people that's doing wrong, it won't happen. It's just they're getting away with it now because police don't want to do nothing about it. Police want to sit back and do nothing because they're short-staffed. And so they, there's more people need to stand up and see something. They need to stop it and put that person in check. If they do it, you're going to have a better town. You got more respect.
Community.
Yep.
Lou. Thanks for your time.
Not a problem, Chris.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you using your voice in your story. Hearing your
Thank
story.
you. Thank you.